Hey there, welcome. So today we're gonna be making some, you guessed it, sushi. So for our rice, we are using short grain Japanese rice. We have some salt and sugar. I do like to add a touch of MSG into the rice while it's boiling and cooking. I also like to use a little bit of black seed. And of course we have our wasabi and soy sauce to go along with it. And we have our regular rice vinegar. And for the ingredients today, I'm gonna be using some English cucumber and also imitation crab. And I also will be making one of them with some shrimp tempura. And of course, we also have our uncut nori sheets, which we will cut in half as we go along. All right, let's get started and make the rice first. Alright, so for today we're not gonna be making too much rice. I think just about 2 cups of the small cup should be fine for our purpose. So I'm just gonna measure up to the brim and then add them to the bowl to wash it immediately. It's about 1 cup. And second cup, just not touching the brim. If you can see, there's a little gap, and I'll consider that when adding water to my rice. Put that aside, and let's go give it a good wash. So as you can see, I'm washing the rice very thoroughly. Let's get the rice into the bowl. Just making sure we grab every single kernel. As you can see, the water looks near clear, and just leave a little bit topped off. We'll leave this rice soaking for about 20 minutes. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes and our rice is ready to be cooked. What I will do, of course, cook the rice in my pot. Now here's a kind of a trick that I'm gonna use. My lid does have a few holes, so what I do is just wrap it in aluminum foil, and that way I can keep all the vapor inside for as long as possible. Alright, so let's get the rice drained, and we need to make sure it drains properly. We're gonna use the same strainer with small holes. Let's go ahead and do that. So since I had 2 cups of rice, I will be using 2 cups of water. And I like to start with cold water, such that as the water heats up, the rice has a chance to absorb the water immediately, or slowly rather than fast. Alright, so it's been about 2 minutes, and we can add the rice into our pot and start cooking. Let's turn on our stove on maximum for now. Let's add 2 cups of water. So 1, 2. And here's what I like to do, and add a touch of MSG into the rice while it is cooking. It will give it an additional type of flavor that I really like. So I'm just gonna add a small pinch of MSG into it. All right, let's cover it up and bring it to boil. Then we'll put it on low. Okay, so now that our rice is getting cooked, we need to prepare our rice vinegar mixture. So for that, I'll need, I'm gonna be using the same measuring cup. We need about 20 to 30% of the rice quantity as our rice vinegar. So if I had 2 cups, I would probably need about 20% of the cup. So a little less than halfway, so probably a quarter of the way vinegar. So I'll just add that. So this should be fine, this amount. We can always adjust less or more, but that's the quantity I like to usually use. We'll need about half teaspoon of salt, less or more, depending on your preference. And about 2 teaspoons of sugar into it. I like it a touch sweet, so I'll just add a little bit more. And we will mix it up and then put it into a pan. We'll put this pan into our stove, but we just need to make sure it does not boil. So let's go ahead and do that while we're waiting for our. All right, so let's check out our rice. We've let it cook enough, so let's take it out and see how it goes. All right, here we go. As you can see, this rice is fully cooked. Now we're just gonna transfer it into a bowl, and we need to make sure that we don't touch it as much as possible to make sure that the kernel stays flaky and yet sticky enough. All right, now let's transfer our rice. So the bottom might be a little bit scorched, so we just need to make sure that we take it out. Let's go. Come on, all in. Let's go. We don't want to scrape the bottom, so just making sure that only rice gets into the bowl. Just making sure I'm very, very careful with it. To spread it a little bit, such that once we add our rice vinegar, it will make sure that every single kernel absorbs the mixture. And I like to use this spatula just because it's thin and has decent surface area, just to spread my mixture a little bit. So let's go ahead and spread this out. So we need to just do a little fluff motion and make sure we cut it. So we make sure cut the rice here. All right, I added half, and I'm now gonna add the next half. Let's add it with the help of our spatula. So everything gets covered. And now let's just mix thoroughly, but important part is to not break the grains, and that's what we want to watch for. Couch rating? So now our ingredients ready. I've shredded my imitation crab. We have cucumber ready, and we also have our shrimp tempura ready as well. Alright, so now let's make our sushi roll. So we're just gonna wet our hands, make sure it's nice and damp and shiny. So we're gonna take some rice, probably a handful, just a little bit more. And let's spread it onto our nori. make sure we fill it all the way up. Okay, we're gonna add some black seeds. And we're gonna go ahead and flip it over. For our ingredients, we can make one, let's put 2 tempuras, tail end on facing outwards, and some cucumber for this one. Now just make sure we leave a little bit of space behind it and we can roll it. And there we go. Just making sure we wet our knives. You can use damp towel to ensure it's wet, or you can just add some water and then cut it in 8 pieces. Alright, there we go. We have our roll